about the market right now. And I want to talk about the market because the market is obviously changing. It's changing very, very quickly, right? Before there was no inventory on the market and buyers were submitting offers way over asking price and 40 offers on a property and getting shot down, and it didn't matter what you did, you couldn't win a contract. You know, we have classes on how to win those, and we happen to win a lot more contracts relative to the market compared to our competitors because of the techniques that we taught. But now the pendulum is switching, right? Now we are in Tampa. We are in Florida, and Florida is the #1 state that people are moving to, and Tampa is the #1 market for appreciation. I think it was 33.4% last year was reported in Tampa. So your property values went up by 1/3 in the last 12 months. So if the market shifts, there's no need to freak out. There's no need to complain. There's no need to do anything. Suppose the market goes down 20%. It's okay. The market already went up 33%. So you're still up 13%. It doesn't matter. But I don't anticipate the market going down at all. There's really nobody out there, economists, that are expecting that to happen. But we are seeing changes. We are seeing changes where listings are going up. Our internal listing counts are going up. Open houses did not exist 3 months ago because houses were selling so fast. But now they exist. That's why we're teaching the classes on them. That's why we're putting requirements in place. That's why we're adapting to the market. So I want to talk to you about ways that you guys can take advantage of a shifting market. All right. Now, there's a book out there. It's by Gary Keller, and I love Gary Keller. He's a spectacular theorist in the real estate space. He's written a couple great books. And his book is called Shift, right? And it was written back in about 2007, 2008, I think it was 2008, where he wrote a book talking about shifting markets. And when you're in a shifting market, you have to buckle down. And it's not easy. Now, the market we just came from was not easy either, but this shifting market is not going to be easy. So we got to make sure that we are adapting to it and focusing on what's important. All right. So the first thing is to get your mindset in the right place. All right. You need to decide what your priorities are going to be and how much time you're going to spend on certain activities. You need to get very, very efficient. Okay. It's very important for you to do that. You need to make sure that your mindset mentally and the actions that you are taking are shifting with this market. Okay. And I say that because you have to be real with your clients. And I know we have some people right now that have challenging listings, and I can see it out there because listings have sold so quickly and so easily, and people have pie in the sky ideas of what their properties are worth, but it's not as easy anymore. So we've got to do certain things, and that's what we're talking about right now. But so making sure that you are real with your customers and your clients and pricing and strategies that you guys are using. All right. So make sure that you're getting real first. All right. Secondly, make sure that the actions that you are taking are indicative of what you're trying to accomplish. All right. So in a shifting market, lead generation and lead conversion, and this is true in any market, to be honest with you. So lead generation and lead conversion are always going to be the most important. We're going to talk about that, but you might have to shift in a shifting market, the conversion rates of the lead generation and the conversion rates of just your lead conversion might change a little bit. You might have to talk to more people than you did before to get someone to make a buying or selling decision, because you need to get them over whatever hurdles that they've got in their head. It could be, hey, I want to sit on the sidelines and I'm waiting for the market to change. Now interest rates are going through the roof, so now I can't afford it. Well, now there's more inventory. It's all simple supply and demand. And that's what the Fed is doing, is manipulating that and slowing down inflation. But all right, so making sure that your mindset is right and making sure that you're taking advantage of the critical action steps. All right. Now, next up is expense management. you need to make sure that you are properly managing your expenses. Now, I talked about this a couple years ago when COVID hit, and in the world, we had no idea what was going to happen. And we were kind of in a hunker down type mode. And I'm not saying that we're in a hunker down type mode right now. Once again, I firmly believe that there will be a slowdown in our market, and we're experiencing it. I do not believe, because of the geographic location that we are all blessed to live in, that I don't believe that we're going to end up seeing a downturn. But just shifting means ideals shifting. So making sure that your expenses are matching what your revenue is, okay? So you need to look closely at your expense management, and leading with revenue and saying, I can just chase my expenses by just producing more revenue is not always the right mindset in a market that is changing, all right? And I've done that before. I've done that, and I've hustled, and I've said, screw this, I'll just produce more revenue, no problem. And it's worked, but in order to do that, it's risky. So you want to make sure that that your expenses are matching your revenue, okay? And the investments that you're making in your business, you're kind of playing you want to drop your expenses, tighten down, all right? And then you want to take your budget that you're using towards your real estate, and you want to incrementally change it, okay? You're kind of playing like the stoplight game. Like the red light is put the brakes on, green light, and red light, green light. You want to make sure that you're doing that and stepping on the gas when the appropriate revenue is there. Now, there's lots of free marketing classes that we have out there. That's just part of the reason I'm talking about this. Dan gave a class on all the free marketing that you guys can be doing. So it doesn't mean stop marketing. It means that adjust your expenses related to it. Now, I'm a firm believer that you got to reinvest in your business, but I'm saying do it smartly right now, okay? And buying a whole bunch of Zillow leads when buyers are sitting on the sidelines may not be the right thing if you're tight on a budget, all right? Now Zillow leads convert. They 100% convert. That's why they're in business. But making sure that you're doing it smart is what I'm saying, okay? So I'm not saying don't spend money. I'm saying do it incrementally with the way your income is coming in. So, all right, next up, do more with less. Leverage. I sound like I'm beating a dead horse, but leverage the people we are giving you for free. We give you our vacation enabler, AKA transaction coordinator, for free. Use her. All right, that's the way you can leverage and start doing more lead generation and more lead conversion. All right, so please use that. That's also why we are harping right now on KV Core, because for those of you that are struggling in your business and floundering, it's because you don't have systems in place. You are floundering in the market because you're waiting for referrals to come in and not doing things in a systematic manner. And that's what I teach you guys. If you have systems in place and you are consistent about your activities, you will smooth out. It doesn't matter any market we're in. If it's going up, down, or sideways, you will have a predictable outcome. All right, now, once again, rates might change, but you will have a predictable outcome. So leverage what we are giving you through technology and our transaction coordination, okay? All right, there are core competencies that you guys have in the real estate business, and that is to generate leads and convert those leads, right? Then you want to get appointments. So convert those to signed agreements. I talk about this in our Elevate classes, right? So you're converting them to appointments, and then you're converting them to contracts, and then you're taking them from contract to closing. Well, if you can get rid of all the activities that is paperwork, such as the contract to closing and all of that, coordination with that, then you can spend more time on the things that are going to be more challenging right now, which is converting those leads. Those conversations are the people that that are changing their mindset. So getting over that, all right? So please leverage. Okay, now next up, with lead generation, right? Find motivated people. There is nothing that's more critical in a market that's changing than finding the people who are motivated. And there are people who are motivated on both sides of the fence. There are motivated sellers now that feel like they're having FOMO because they might have missed the curve, and all of a sudden, wait a second, things are slowing down and I can't just sit back my Zillow value. And so wait, the market's changing. I need to get my property in the market right now to take advantage of it so I don't completely miss it. There are people with that mindset that think the sky is going to fall. And so you can take advantage of that. They're motivated for whatever reason. Flip side, buyers. Okay, there was no inventory before. Now there's more inventory. So that those houses that you lost because you had multiple offers on it, you got very frustrated and quit. Well, guess what? Now your offer can get accepted, right? And interest rates are still low, guys. It's not that crazy, right? Interest rates they're not what they were a year ago, but those were ridiculous. That was free money. Now interest rates are becoming more normalized, and they're probably going to normalize even more. So please find motivated people. I teach a class, it's recorded, on distressed and motivated sellers, how to find them. Watch it. It's very simple. It's the same principles over. It doesn't matter what market you're in, but that class is even easier now to go apply those principles and find people that want to sell, because as the economy changes, you're going to see people that have issues, right? And it could be all kinds of issues because there's been free money floating around lately, all right? Okay, lead conversion. Getting those leads converted is very critical as well, all right? So when you're converting leads, what's the point of, let's just put it this way, okay? If you're doing lead generation, but you don't get somebody's name and phone number, then is there any good to actually that lead generation? And if you're getting the name and phone number, but you can't get an appointment with them, is that worth anything, right? So it's critical during your lead generation activities that you must get a name and a phone number, and you must attempt to convert that to an appointment. Otherwise, you really haven't accomplished anything, right? Now, I'm not saying this to discourage you, because if someone tells you no, it means not right now. It doesn't mean no, it means I'm not ready right now. But at some point, they're going to become ready for real estate services of some capacity. I promise you that, all right? So, with the goal is getting appointments, right? Now, with that, there's lots of different closing techniques that you can use. And I'm going to actually, because we don't have enough time during the sales meeting to go through this, one of the float days in our calendar, I kind of want to get with Dan and teach this in more depth. But there are lots of different closing techniques that you can use. All right. There's a hard close that says, let's meet right now. Let's meet. You're going straight for it, right? Then there's a softer close that you can say that says, I've enjoyed speaking with you. When can you get together to discuss this further? When would you like to get together to discuss this further? All right. Or you can be very direct and say, can we meet today? What are you doing this afternoon? All right. Or you can be indirect and you say, would it be okay if I got you some more information to look over, and then we can meet to discuss. So you're saying, I want to get you some more information. It's more of a softer, indirect close. All right. You can do a trial close that says, have we gone over enough today that would make a meeting our next step? In not so many words. So I'm paraphrasing there. Have we gone over enough today that meeting would be our next step is the direct language that this uses. But you can do an assumptive close. It sounds like we should meet. I'm available most times next week or tomorrow or whenever. Sounds like we should meet. That's an assumptive close. All right. You can do a negative/positive close that says, would you be offended if I asked if we could meet to go over this? These are different languages that you can use, and I'll put these out there for you guys. A take-back close. I've really enjoyed visiting with you. To be honest, I'm not sure if I can be of help or not, but I'd be honored if we could meet to find out. So I'm not sure. It's a take-back, right? But you actually do know that you can. You're just kind of baiting them a little bit. All right, a tie-down close. Wouldn't it make sense for us to meet the next day or so? You're being more direct and tying down. All right, and then an alternative choice. What works better for you, meaning this afternoon or tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow morning? What works better for you? Give them 2 times, give them 2 windows of time. All right, so when you're closing, there's lots of different closes, but make sure you are going for the close of an appointment. That is critical. All right, that is very, very critical. All right, next up, internet lead conversion. All right, that's once again why we're doing our KV Core trainings. So that it's more than just internet lead conversion, but capturing leads and efficiently working those leads. That's why we're doing the KV Core training. That's why I want to see you guys getting with Andy in person. That's why we're improving on that. Even though it's not our software, we're improving on their training. Okay, next up, pricing. Pricing strategies for sellers. This is critical right now, guys. If you are dealing with a seller that has pie in the sky expectations and they decide to price it too high, they can be out of the market and missing it. And they can be constantly chasing the market if the market is moving. Now, once again, I don't think it's going down, but they could constantly be chasing that number that they're actually going to get. So the number they could have gotten easily with 22 offers 3 months ago may not be so easy right now. All right. So if you guys are getting a lot of listings right now. If you have a listing right now and you have no showings and obviously no offers, then you're completely out of the game, right? The first thing that I look at, and I teach this in our Elevate class, if you guys want to go back and watch it, is you first want to see how many eyeballs are looking at that property. So how many views is it getting? How many people are favoriting it using reverse prospecting? That's a tool that you guys have in the MLS. So use the reverse prospecting tool. All right. How many people are favoring it? Right. If that's not happening, you're completely out of the market. You need to make a price adjustment. You need to have a real conversation with your seller. So it first starts with eyeballs, then it goes to showings, and then showings goes to inquiries where people are inquiring, asking more questions about it, and then you start getting to offers. But you don't want to be in that no man's land where you're constantly chasing because you've got unrealistic sellers. All right, so have real conversations with them. All right, and price ahead of the market. Make sure that you're in the game at all times. All right, that's very important. And if you're not in the game, you can always tell, because the seller is always right and they think their house is worth so much and it's better than this and better than that, and here's all the reasons why. That's fine. You can test the market if you want. I'm okay with that. But come up with a plan if the market is not responding to you. So if you want to list your property for $350,000, and I think that it should be in the 280 to 300 range based on the data that I'm looking at, no problem. We can start it out, but I want a plan in place to bring it in there out of no man's land and into the market, and I want to do that swiftly. So it could be 2 weeks, could be 3 weeks, or whatever it is, but systematically you can write it into your listing agreement to actually drop the price where you don't have to ask them on such and such a date. It goes from here to here. I would still ask them. I'm still talking about it. But anyway, standing out from the competition. So staging works, guys. It definitely works. So spending money on either virtual staging, which is very cheap with your photos, or actual staging, stand out in certain ways. All right, you might need to do that, or decluttering if somebody's living in the house. If you are going to stage, focus on plantings, so plants. So you're focusing on just the curb appeal. Paint, make sure you have fresh paint because it makes the house smell and look clean. And your pictures, all right? Make sure that you have spectacular pictures. You also want to focus on your fixtures, making sure that you don't have brand new paint and brand new flooring or whatever, but that you have an old 1970s disco ball and as your light. You don't want to do that, right? You want to make sure that you're matching your fixtures with the rest of the house. Okay. All right, and then furnishings obviously as well. So make sure you're standing out using some staging strategies, either virtual or actual. All right, next up is creating urgency and overcoming buyer reluctance. All right, How do you do that? How do you overcome that reluctant buyer that says, no, I'm sitting on the sidelines because I missed the opportunity to buy because there was too many people, and I kept submitting offers because I thought I could negotiate because that's where my mind is. And now the interest rates have swung too high, and now I want to sit because I think the market's going to come down, or interest rates are going to come down, or whatever, right? And they're constantly placing themselves out of the market. There are lots of slides, and you guys can see them all over social media, and you can get them from NAR and whatnot, that talk about different interest rates and different places of why, if you had waited to buy, and the difference of price appreciation and interest rates and what your monthly payment is and all that. So in order to overcome buyer reluctance, you need to address it, and you need to tap into their why. All right, this is true with sellers too. If you've got people that are selling properties and they're struggling and you're struggling or whatever, tap into their why. Why are you doing this? Focus on their why and focus on the future, and that will get them over that reluctance. It's more important for you to get XYZ. It's more important for you to get your child in the right school district than to save $300 on your monthly payment. Whatever their reluctance is, focus on their why, and why are they doing that, and that will help overcome their reluctance. All right, so trying to time the market, there are hazards associated with it, and you're seeing it left and right. And to be honest with you guys, my philosophy is you can never lose money unless you sell the property. So if the market dips or whatever, and you plan on being there a long time, then who cares? Just ride it out. As long as your monthly cash flow is there, it doesn't matter. And that's why when I teach my investing classes, I stress cash flow, because if the market goes down or goes sideways or whatever, I don't care about trying to time it. And people that try and time things are the ones that often get burned. And sometimes I've sold properties, and had I timed it, would have made a lot more money. And I didn't. So you know what? I don't stress about that kind of stuff, right? So the opportunities of time and market, that's something that can be easily overcome, by showing these statistics and things like that. All right. Identify value that you are providing, the properties are providing, the value of, once again, it leads back to their why, making sure that the value that they are getting from that why is more important than the hurdle that they've artificially placed in front of them of why they're not taking action. So getting over buyer reluctance is critical, but focus on their why and you'll get there. Okay. Expanding their options, creative financing. So we've got spectacular lender partners. We've talked to them. We've you've got the cash buy it now in cash programs that we've had come in there, the Homewards, the Ribbons, the Home Partners of America. There are lots of different alternative ways of getting deals done. Please talk to our lender partners and make sure you know all of the options available to you, and you are attending these classes of third-party vendors that have options and give you more tools in your tool belt. Okay, mastering the market. Are the moment. So short sales, foreclosures, and REOs. I can tell you right now, guys, I think I saw some statistics for, I think it was May or June, that there were like 4 short sales done in all of Tampa, and there were only like 20 REOs. And heck, I probably represented a couple of them with my hedge funds. But guys, it's too early for that. When that opportunity comes, I will make sure that you're ahead of the curve. But those short sales and REO opportunities, because there's so much equity in properties right now, we're a ways out. And I'm very good at forecasting these things. I pay attention to delinquency rates and things like that. We're a ways out. I'm not saying that it's not coming. I'm not saying there's not opportunities that you can take advantage of, but just understand that it's a little too early. So we'll get there at some point if we have to. And I will teach you guys how to do that. All right. Bulletproof a transaction is the final one. Is you want to make sure that once you have a property or transaction under contract, you're doing everything you can to protect that transaction. So using a transaction coordinator is very critical. Make sure you do that. All right. Making sure you are anticipating any kind of issues that might come up with inspections and repairs and appraisals and loan issues and any other contingencies. or dealing with the co-op agent and deadlines and things like that. Just make sure you are anticipating before something comes up. All right, and you've already got a solution, and if something does come up, have a solution in place even sometimes before you have the conversation with your client. All right, so that will help you guys bulletproof and protect transactions. All right, so once again, this is from a book called Shift. I highly recommend reading that book. It's a very good book. And my overall, what I want to tell you guys is it does not matter what happens in the overall market as long as you are paying attention so you can become a quality resource for your clients, and that you are educating them and you are acting in accordance with that shifting market. All right, and that's what we're doing. That's what we're talking about right now, and that's just fine-tuning your tools. And like Dan touched on it, it's very critical in a market that is moving fast and with the pendulum swinging. It might swing the other direction again here soon if interest rates come back down. Who knows? But as a market when a market's moving, just make sure that you guys are fine-tuning your skills. You're attending the classes. You know what is available to you and all your tools available to you that we are offering you, and that the lender partners and all these people are offering to you. Open houses, all these tools that we give you guys. It's critical to take advantage of and be aware of those. All right. So that's it. That's all I've got for you guys today. I appreciate all of you and all that you do. Welcome back to school, and welcome to all the people that are in the classroom right now, and have a great month. We'll see you next month.